I reported my boss for harassment with screenshots, witnesses, and a year's worth of documentation. The company fired me 3 days later for creating a hostile work environment. He got promoted. I was 24 and working at a marketing firm downtown. My manager, Derek, was 42, married with kids, and had this habit of standing way too close when he talked to you. At first, I thought I was being sensitive. Maybe it was just his personality. Maybe I needed thicker skin for corporate life. Then the comments started. You'd look better in a skirt. Smile more. You're too serious. Come on, lighten up. It's just a joke. I kept my head down and did my work. I was good at my job. Really good. I'd brought in 3 major clients in 6 months. My performance reviews were excellent. Derek's comments got worse. He started texting me after work hours. Nothing explicitly inappropriate, but always personal. What are you doing tonight? Pat, you look good in that. My wife doesn't understand me like you do. I stopped responding. He cornered me in the break room one day. You think you're too good to talk to me? His voice was low, threatening. I'm just trying to do my job, I said, trying to move past him. He blocked my path. You know, I could make things very difficult for you here. That's when I started documenting everything, every text, every comment. Every time he stood too close or touched my shoulder, I wrote down dates, times, witnesses who were present. I saved everything. My coworker Jessica pulled me aside one afternoon. He did the same thing to me last year. I reported him to HR and they buried it. Just warning you, I had evidence. Real evidence. They couldn't ignore that I was wrong. I scheduled a meeting with HR. The woman's name was Patricia. Mid-50s, professional, sympathetic face. I laid out everything. The texts, the timeline, the witnesses, the documented pattern of behavior. She nodded along, taking notes. This is very serious. We'll launch a full investigation. In the meantime, try to avoid being alone with him. Try to avoid him. He was my direct supervisor. 2 days later, Derek called me into his office. Patricia from HR was sitting there too. My stomach dropped. We've received your complaint, Patricia said in that same sympathetic voice. And we've conducted our preliminary investigation. Derek sat there looking concerned. Fake concerned. Like he was the victim. Several employees have come forward. Patricia continued, expressing concern about your behavior in the workplace. They say you've been hostile, creating drama, making false accusations against Derek. My mouth went dry. What? Who said that? I can't disclose that information, but multiple sources have corroborated that you've been the one creating a hostile work environment. I looked at Derek. He was doing this thing with his face where he looked disappointed, hurt even. I have proof, I said, my voice shaking. Screenshots, witnesses. Jessica can. Jessica declined to provide a statement supporting your claims. Patricia interrupted. In fact, she expressed that she felt you were trying to manipulate her into lying for you. The betrayal hit like a physical blow. Jessica had warned me. Now she was denying everything. We're placing you on immediate administrative leave while we complete our investigation. Patricia said, please collect your personal items and leave the building. Administrative leave? I couldn't believe what I was hearing. He's the one harassing me. Derek finally spoke. His voice was calm, measured. I'm sorry you feel that way. I've always tried to be supportive of your career here. If I've done anything to make you uncomfortable, that was never my intention. But I can't have baseless accusations damaging my reputation. He was good. Really good. He sounded genuine, concerned, like the reasonable one. Security escorted me to my desk. Everyone stared as I packed my things into a box. Derek stood in his office doorway, watching with that same fake, concerned expression. I called a lawyer that night. Her name was Rachel Kim. She listened to everything, reviewed my documentation, and said I had a strong case. But you need to know, she warned, these things take time. Months, maybe years. And companies have expensive lawyers. Are you prepared for that fight? I was. The investigation took 3 weeks. 3 weeks of me sitting at home, applying to jobs, watching my savings drain. 3 weeks of Derek going to work every day like nothing happened. The email came on a Friday afternoon. Subject line, investigation conclusion. After thorough review, we've determined that the allegations against Derek Morrison are unsubstantiated. However, your conduct during this process, including making false accusations and attempting to coerce co-workers into supporting false claims, violates our code of conduct. Your employment is terminated effective immediately. They fired me. I reported harassment with evidence, and they fired me for it. Rachel filed a wrongful termination suit the next week. The company's lawyers responded with their own lawsuit, claiming I defamed Derek and damaged the company's reputation. This is standard intimidation tactics, Rachel explained. They're trying to scare you into dropping it. Discovery phase was brutal. They subpoenaed my personal emails, my text messages, my social media. They interviewed everyone I'd ever worked with, looking for anything to discredit me. Derek's lawyer argued that I was a disgruntled employee with performance issues who fabricated harassment claims after receiving negative feedback. Performance issues. I had glowing reviews for 2 years. The company trotted out 3 employees who testified that I was difficult to work with, created drama, and made everyone uncomfortable. People I'd eaten lunch with. People who'd called me their friend. Jessica took the stand and said I'd pressured her into lying about Derek. That I twisted her words. That she'd never experienced any harassment from him at all. I sat there watching her commit perjury, and there was nothing I could do about it. The trial lasted for months. My lawyer presented all my evidence. The texts, the timeline, the pattern of behavior, expert witnesses on workplace harassment. Derek's lawyers presented him as a devoted family man, a mentor to young professionals, someone who'd been falsely accused by a vindictive employee. They showed photos of him with his wife and kids. Character witnesses talked about his volunteer work, his church involvement, his dedication to the company. The jury deliberated for days. They found in favor of the company, said I hadn't proven my case. Awarded them $30,000 for defamation. $30,000 I didn't have. I appealed. Lost again. The appeals court upheld the verdict. 2 years after I first reported Derek, I was broke, blacklisted in my industry, and owed the company that fired me $30,000. Derek got promoted to vice president. I had to move back in with my parents, file for bankruptcy, start over in a completely different field. Every job interview, they asked why I left my last position. I learned to lie, wanted a change, looking for new opportunities. Just time to move on. If I told the truth, I never got a call back. 3 years later, I was working retail, 27 years old with a marketing degree, folding clothes at the mall. That's when I got the email. Subject line, you were right. It was from someone named Amanda. She'd been hired to replace me at the company. Derek had started doing the same thing to her. The comments, the texts, the cornering in break rooms. But Amanda had done something I hadn't thought of. She'd recorded him. I'm reporting him. She wrote, and I'm using your case as precedent. Your lawyer gave me the court documents. They show a pattern. Will you testify? I stared at that email for hours. Testifying meant relitigating everything. Meant facing Derek again. Meant risking what little stability I'd rebuilt. But Amanda was asking for help. And maybe this time, with recording evidence, things would be different. I called Rachel. Do I have a shot? With audio recordings? Yeah, you do. The company tried to settle with Amanda immediately. Offered her $100,000 and an NDA. She turned them down. Asterisk, I want him gone. She told the mediator, and I want her case reopened. It went public. The recordings leaked somehow. Derek's voice saying things that couldn't be explained away as jokes or misunderstandings. Clear, explicit harassment. The media picked it up. Marketing firm covered up years of harassment. Other women started coming forward. Turns out Jessica hadn't been the first before me. There were others. A pattern stretching back 8 years. The company fired Derek. Too little, too late. They'd protected him for nearly a decade. offered me a settlement for $100,000, an apology, and clearing the defamation judgment. My lawyer said take it. I was tired of fighting. I took the money. It didn't feel like winning. It felt like the price they were willing to pay to make the problem go away. Derek never faced criminal charges. Harassment isn't illegal enough, apparently. He got hired at another company 6 months later. Different industry, same position of power. Amanda and I got coffee after everything settled. She was 22, still believed the system worked. If you just had enough evidence, you were right to fight, she said. You made it possible for me to fight. At what cost? 2 years of my life, my career, my savings, my mental health. The system isn't designed to protect victims. It's designed to protect companies and people like Derek who know exactly how to work that system. I'm 30 now. I went back to school, got a different degree, built a different career. I'm okay. But I'm not the same person I was before. Before, I learned that doing the right thing doesn't guarantee the right outcome. That evidence doesn't always matter. That powerful people protect their own. Would I report him again? Knowing everything that happened after, I honestly don't know. But I tell you to document everything. Get a lawyer before you report. Not after. Record if your state allows it. And prepare for the system to fail you, because it probably will. That's my story. The company paid me to shut up. I'm done being quiet about what silence costs. Thanks for listening. If you've been through workplace retaliation, drop a comment. You're not alone, and subscribe for more stories about fighting back even when the system is rigged. See you in the next one.